So one of the questions that we haven't really asked yet, and that would be, how do we address maybe mineral needs for livestock, whether that be yearlings or cows, whether that be spring or fall? What are some of the mineral needs with the kind of vegetation or the forages that we're grazing down here, and maybe critical times that they would be necessary?
We'd kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier with the fertility discussion. And if you are applying fertility, in particular phosphorus and potassium, a lot of times when we test our forages, we have more than sufficient phosphorus to meet even lactating cows a lot of times. So our phosphorus needs are definitely way lower than in some other systems, pretty much year round. 10-10-10 minerals, don't waste your money on that. That's way more than you need. But a lot of our producers, and what I've formulated some rations for, I rarely go over about a 4% phos mineral for cows or stockers down here on fescue country. One thing that we've been upping a little bit is our magnesium concentration. We do put a little higher magnesium in. There's going to be a little more research that shows that it helps offset or improve some pregnancy rates on our toxic fescues, but also to prevent grass tetany, because that is something that could happen. Luckily, we haven't had many issues with it during that spring green up, your spring calving herds. But I think that's because we've started upping our mag for our breeder mineral, and we feed that right as we start calving. So maybe that's why we don't see as much, but a little bit higher magnesium, lower phosphorus, and we do have pockets that are pretty selenium deficient. So, putting in some more bioavailable sources of selenium, like your chelates or amino acid chelates, not 100%, because that just doesn't get economically feasible, but about 50% of some of those trace minerals, zinc, copper, manganese, could be beneficial from an organic source.
The natural reduction in phosphorus needs for cattle in fertilized pastures is a good thing. That tends to be the most expensive component of livestock mineral because of both the amount that they use to formulate those products and how much that product costs. I'll just add a little bit of information about cow needs for trace minerals. The needs are really seasonally driven and driven by physiological state of that cow. As the cow moves through late gestation and as she approaches peak lactation, she is dumping her body reserves for most of those trace minerals, copper, selenium, manganese, and zinc. She's dumping most of those trace minerals into her offspring. If you think about it, that's just kind of a natural sacrifice that a mother is going to make for young. So being strategic about how we offer trace mineral supplements to cows can pay decent dividends in focusing those efforts on the 3 months of time immediately before expected calving and the 2 months of time that coincide with the first 2 months of lactation. Beyond that, for cows for the balance of the year, stocker cattle pretty much the entire time that we own them, we're just not likely to see a deficiency of any kind. As long as we're keeping the mineral profile of our forages in mind, we can get by with a pretty inexpensive kind of a supplement.